off in our number 5 spot, Death Map. Yeah, if the word death is in the site title, then you probably should avoid going on it. This site shows you in real life time a statistical simulation of people dying around the world. This is shown on an interactive map where red dots pop up for deaths and green dots pop up for births. You know, this isn't so bad, seeing deaths along with births, a little give and take. But it turns pretty morbid when you check off the show deaths box and then you're just sitting there essentially watching people die all across the world. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going on this site. Anything that allows you to see how easy it would be for us to all be those red dots and take your mortality into question isn't a site that should be so easily accessible.
Number 4 on this list is the Nightmare Machine. I made the mistake of visiting this website when researching for this video, and I honestly thoroughly regret it at this point. Alvaro Trigo says the Nightmare Machine scary website features horrific images generated by artificial intelligence. Although these images aren't real, as they're generated by AI, they often resemble real objects, places, or anything that you can relate to. This one-page website issues a warning to all visitors immediately when they land on the website, preparing them for what is to come when navigating through their page. That warning says, "Warning. Images on this website are generated by deep learning algorithms and may not be suitable for all users. They contain scary content." And that content is assuredly scary, as witnessed by me. The scariest part about this website is that it's all real things. I saw the algorithm take the Colosseum in Rome and turn it into this dark and evil environment that looked extremely apocalyptic. I also saw them generate faces of humans and turn these into these grotesque Trevor Henderson looking creatures. And I think maybe the worst part about this site, and what really gets me, is the fact that it's a robot making these creations. I've always been rather scared and very cognizant of the fact that artificial intelligence and robots could one day take over the planet. They could get smarter than us humans and enslave us and make us work for them. Seeing this AI draw out these grotesque, disfigured human faces just got me thinking about the type of things that robots could do to us. This AI is trained to create scary looking things. If this AI ever grew to like making scary looking things, then we could be in trouble. Number 3 on this list is Fright Find. Fright Find is a really good name for the website because that's basically what you'll be doing on it. Finding fright. The whole premise of this website is to bring you closer to ghosts and hauntings. Actually, the small little About Us section of their website says, Fright Find brings you closer to the paranormal by finding and reviewing the scariest haunted houses, fear attractions, and haunted hotels near you. If you want to catch a thrill or experience a real haunted place, then we can get you there. Let's say that you move to a nice neighborhood in California. It's the suburbs and everything is pretty picturesque. Your neighbors are nice, you get a paper delivered to the front door, there's a park in the middle of the subdivision with a field where the kids all play. When it's summertime, there are birds chirping, the hum of lawnmowers going, and the sound of an ice cream truck patrolling the area. You think it's perfect, right up until you check Fright Find. Turns out, that nice neighbor who keeps inviting you over for a barbecue 2 doors down, well, the house that guy lives in is deeply haunted. A murder took place there, and now a demon resides in the house and is said to take people's souls straight to hell. Now I'm making all of this up right now, but I think you get the idea. Fright Find allows you to locate all of the haunted houses around you, and it tells you what happened there and what type of ghost or entity is haunting them now. Some of these homes you may have heard of before, but a lot of them you haven't, and they could be right next to you. Knowledge truly is power, guys, but also sometimes ignorance is bliss. Number 2 on this list is Homicide Monitor. I understand the purpose of this website, I do get it, but it really is scary. Alvaro Trigo says, Homicide Monitor is one of the scariest and most dangerous websites ever created. This creepy website features a map showing all murder cases happening on Earth. It provides visitors scary information which often varies yearly about homicide incidents that occurred in recent times. It also includes a drop-down menu where you can choose any nation to know the exact murder cases that occurred there. So again, this makes sense. I get it. It's kind of important information to know where there are a lot of murders taking place. Like maybe I want to book a vacation, but I check this thing first just to be safe. Also, just in terms of being at home too, this could be a good information tool. But there's also the other side to all of this where I check it, and then I realize that a murder is being investigated just down the street from where I live. Like, how is that gonna make me feel? Once again, I want to reiterate that it's good information to have, and if there is a killer on the loose, then I probably want to know so I can protect myself. It's just really creepy regardless. Checking this website can be very eye-opening, which can be a good thing, but just be aware that it comes at a cost. And finally, number 1 on this list is plane crash info. Do not go onto this website, guys. Like, seriously, I'm kind of shocked this thing hasn't been taken down because it really isn't cool. Moonswag says, this website is ironically owned by an organization called Perfect Privacy LLC. It has MP3 transcriptions of passengers crying and panicking moments before their planes crash. It's really dark stuff to say the least. The website also has a list of accident photos, unusual accidents, famous deaths, and more. This website will definitely take you on a ride of dark, creepy stories. There are some things that just need to be left alone, and the audio recording of a plane going down, that's one of them. I understand that this media needs to be investigated and looked into after the crash has occurred to understand why the crash happened in the first place. But once that investigation is concluded, that's it. There is no need to be looking into stuff after that's done, in my opinion. I didn't end up going to this website to research this video, I just read up on it from other people who have visited it. I really don't think that there's any good reason to be going to a thing like this, and frankly, I don't even think it should be a thing.
Coming in our number 5 spot, the death clock. Yeah, unless you want to know exactly when you're going to die, then don't go to this site. Yeah, this just really freaks me out. I know chances are it's just BS, but it would just put me in a panic until the day I'm supposedly gonna die rolled around. So on this site, you first need to answer some questions such as your date of birth, sex, BMI, smoking habits, etc. After doing this, the site will tell you the exact day the internet believes that you're gonna die, right down to the very last second. I would say don't do this because it's just going to mess with your head. But on the bright side, there have been no recorded deaths that matched up with this site. That we know of anyway. In at number 4, Joy of Satan. This is a site that is dedicated to Satan, and it's for people who follow the religion Satanism. Yep, that exists. For those of you who are like, what the heck is Satanism? Well, apparently it all started in 1966. And it's the following of ideological and philosophical beliefs based on the characters of Satan. This site contains endless information on the religion, so this includes the belief's origin, details about Lucifer, and even how to become a Satanist. So the most unsettling part of all of this is how the site tries to get the visitors to join Satanism. It's really directed towards troubled teens, and it encourages them to join the site and summon demons. They use the fact that teens like to rebel and are impressionable to their advantage, and they suck them in. Some people might find this silly, but the people who run this site are clearly disturbed, and they are trying to have other people join them in their beliefs. At number 3, death date. Okay, so why would you want to know when you're going to die? Like, yeah, I get the fact that it allows you to do all the things you wanted to do before physically leaving this earth, but at what cost? You could do something really dangerous and die even sooner. And what happens if you find out you're gonna die at a young age? It's just best not to know. So one site that really freaks people out is called Death Date. It basically takes the pretty much impossible task of telling someone the exact day on which they're going to die. When you go on the site, you are presented with this question. So you want to know when. If you click yes, then you need to answer some more questions, such as your height, weight, birth date, gender, and if you partake in alcohol, drugs, or you smoke cigarettes. Once you fill out this information, the site will tell you which day you will die on exactly and how much time you have left on this earth. It will show you a countdown clock, including the number of years, months, weeks, days, minutes, and seconds you have remaining on Earth. The only positive thing about this is that there hasn't been any deaths that have reportedly coincided with this. But then again, if you're dead, how are you gonna let the site know? Coming at number 2, the 5th Nail Exposed. This is a website that contains the blog of a convicted serial killer and violent sexual predator. Basically, this killer/pedophile was raping young kids since he was a teenager in the 70s, and he's he's been documenting it. It was later realized that this blog belonged to a man named Joseph E. Duncan III. Joseph would handwrite letters from his cell in prison and send them to a creep who runs the blog for him. When this person receives letters from Joseph, he would then type them up for him and post them on his site. The postings on the site are very detailed and graphic. It really allows you into the mind of this dangerous serial killer. It's one thing to watch Criminal Minds and true crime stories and stuff like that, but this site is just on a whole other level. And in at number 1, best gore. So not only is the site extremely disturbing and controversial, it also landed its founder, Mark Merrick, in jail due to how messed up it is. Yeah, that pretty much says everything right there. So best gore is pretty much a shock site. Basically, its whole purpose is to shock the user. It does this by uploading the most disturbing images and videos you will ever come across in your life. So you might be saying to yourself, come on, how bad could it be? Well, it contains images and videos of beheadings, dismemberment, and even rape. What makes this even more messed up and disgusting is the fact that all of the contents posted on this site are 100% real. Nothing on this site is pretend, it's all stuff that is happening on our planet. These are images, videos, and recordings that will leave you with nightmares. People go onto the site because they are curious, and they leave the site wishing they didn't let their curiosity get the best of them. So many people have gone onto forums telling people not to make the same mistake they did and to avoid going on the site. Because once you see something that disturbing, you can never unsee it. Shockingly enough, even with the site's creator behind bars, the site is still up. There's literally only one warning on the site that reads, "Warning, extremely graphic." But I do have to mention that this warning comes after the banner picture of a girl who's naked being spit roasted over a fire. Yeah.
Number 5 on this list is Ghost Island of Japan. The Ghost Island of Japan is what people have been calling Hashima Island. Now, we've talked a bit about Hashima Island on this channel before because Hashima Island is one of the most haunted islands on the planet. The Little House of Horrors says the buildings were built by Korean and Chinese prisoners who were forced to work here from 1930 to just after World War II. The conditions of these forced laborers were hard, and some never made it back home. The people who worked here named the island Jail Island or even Hell Island. After the war, the Japanese came to the island to work here themselves. The island population had its peak population in 1959. More than 5,000 people worked and lived on Hashima Island. And because the island wasn't very big, this meant they had 5 feet living space each. In 1974, the mines started to run out of coal and people left the island. Soon, the island's uninhabited parts were reclaimed by nature. The weather conditions started affecting the concrete and buildings started falling apart. Sometimes people camped out here, but that was a very dangerous thing to do. The government wanted to discourage people from going over on their own and therefore decided to open it to the public. Fishermen who sail near the island claim they have seen strange flickering lights in the buildings even though the island has no electricity. Strange noises have been heard and cold spots have been felt. People say they had the sensation of being watched, and there are some claims of people that have been touched by unseen hands. So clearly this island is housing some type of evil there. It's rumored that the people who died deep within the mines, their spirits are still there and have even taken to a few of the corpses that were left behind. Evil, dead humans running around and ghosts of all types, not the sort of island you'd want to see. Well, that's exactly what the Ghost Island of Japan lets you do. You can basically scroll through the entire island looking through the abandoned buildings and broken infrastructure. The website itself is super creepy, and what you're looking at is even more so. Some people who have studied these Google Earth photos have claimed that they've seen spirits in them. I'd say go check it out for yourself, but that would mean you have to go visit the website, and I really don't think that doing that is the best idea.
Coming in at number 4, Rate My Poo. Yeah, this is an actual site. Just save yourself from the grossness and do not go on this site. Trust me, you don't want to go to that side of the internet. It's a very scary place. So this site is just what the name suggests. People go to the site, post pictures of their poo, and then other people view those pictures and rate them. And then to top that all off, people tell you what they believe your poo is trying to say to you. It's just something you should go your whole life without looking at. Coming in at number 3, Joy of Satan. This site is dedicated to the religion of Satanism. Satanism is a belief system that is based off of a group of ideological and philosophical beliefs based on Satan. The group was formed in 1966. The site contains endless amounts of information on the religion, including their beliefs, origins, details about Lucifer, and even how to become a Satanist. But the most unsettling part of all of this is the manner in which the site tries to rig visitors into joining the religion. The religion tends to focus on teens and kids as they encourage them to join Hell's army and to summon demons from hell. They use the fact that children and teens are impressionable and rebellious to their advantage, and they suck them in. Coming at number 2, Bestor. So this site is all about controversial and disturbing images. So disturbing that the site's founder, Mark Marek, actually went to jail. This site is a shock site. The main aim is to, you guessed it, shock its users. This site is home to the most disturbing videos you can imagine. Just to give you an idea, some of the top videos are of beheadings and dismemberment. The scariest part about all of this is that these are not made up videos. They are highly violent videos, photos, and real life news stories. Nothing on this site is pretend or made up. And in at number 1, Human Leather. This has to be one of the most messed up sites I've ever heard of in my life. Just the name alone tells you it's not gonna end well. So unfortunately, this name of the site is pretty legit. This is a British sales website that sells products that have been manufactured from human skin. Apparently human skin resembles leather, so someone thought it would be a good idea to make products such as belts, wallets, shoes, and bags. Belts being the best seller. These products have been carved from actual human skin. The site says that human leather is produced from skin sourced from everyday normal people. These people have left their skin to the manufacturers prior to their death. Yes, apparently people have actually agreed to donate their skin to be made into these products. Who would actually be able to skin a dead person and make their skin into products every single day? But more importantly, who would want to buy those products? It's a messed up world out there.